Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. It's a doozy.
That first step's a doozy.
First step's a doozy. I am your host, Ty Christensen, and I'm joined with the Futro Hidden Movie Gems crew. We have Jordan.
Off to see the Groundhog?
And we've got Cameron.
You like your guys with the prominent upper teeth?
And we've got regular guest Grant Mickle.
I feel like I've done this before. I don't know if that's a quote, but I do feel like...
No, you should just do the one you did a minute ago, Grant. So you should sing that song again.
If you put your little hand in mine. The little radio song.
There ain't no hill or mountain we can climb.
I got you, baby.
Dude, that is a character in this movie.
Dude, I would want to kill myself if I listened to that every single day.
Waking up to that song? Oh, jeez.
That is so funny.
I got you, baby.
Right. No, it's just babe.
Oh, that's right.
I got you, babe. So, today, we are discussing Groundhog Day, 1993.
It's cold out there. It's cold out there every day.
This was directed by Harold Ramis. Guys, Harold Ramis. Egon from Ghostbusters.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Didn't he even play a cameo in this movie, too?
Yes, he did.
He was a doctor.
Was the doctor who was very easy at seeing, blinking. No spots, no clots. Yeah, he's great. I love Harold Ramis. R.I.P. We also, written by Danny Rubin, did the screenplay, and Harold Ramis did the screenplay as well. It stars Bill Murray, Andy McDowell, Chris Elliott, my boy from Creek, Stephen Tobolowsky, Phil? Ned Ryerson. What a character. Brian Doyle Murray, who's Buster, the town mayor. Marita Garrity, Angela Patton, Rick Duckerman, and Rick Overton.
My favorite interaction with him had to be the hug. He's just like, I missed you.
Oh, bang! There he goes again.
Bang! That's right.
So, we're going to go around and say what was it like watching this movie the first time and what was it like rewatching it for this podcast. Why don't we start with you, Jordan?
Do you even remember when we first watched this, Ty? I mean, we just grew up with this movie. We watched it so many times. It was this and What About Bob? And then obviously a few Jim Carrey movies. But, Robin Williams. We watched this movie so many times. I can't remember the first time. I just remember thinking it was funny. Not nearly as funny as I thought it is now. Holy crap. A lot of those jokes I'm like, I did not understand as a kid. Now I understand why my parents fast-forwarded a few parts or made us close our ears.
Yeah, repetitive suicide. It's crazy. Somehow this is a comedy. Holy cow.
It's dark.
It's dark. Yeah, like you said, Jordan, I remember watching this the first time and remembering things like, oh, he relives the same day over and over. I didn't understand that it was torturous for him, but a lot of the times that mom and dad would laugh, I would laugh too, because it's fun to laugh communally, even not understanding the context or why everyone's laughing.
Yeah.
We're all just sharing a laughter together.
Laughing.
Grant knows what I'm talking about, right,
Laughing.
Grant?
I love laughing
for the sake
too,
of it.
Ty.
I just like to laugh to fit in.
Cameron on Joker.
So, yeah, watching this movie again was really nostalgic because I haven't seen this in a long time. And I gotta say, of all the holidays, Groundhog Day, I'm still baffled why they chose. Maybe it was, I guess you need a movie for Groundhog Day, but like, this is now like this movie plot line where you relive the same day over and over was featured again in movies like Live, Die, Repeat, or I guess that was just
Edge of Tomorrow.
Not for a while.
Edge of Tomorrow, yeah.
I know it is, but they actually changed. No, Cameron, I'm not kidding.
It's called AKA Live, Die, Repeat. You can refer to it as that, but the actual name is Edge of Tomorrow.
It's Edge of Tomorrow.
I know it's called Edge of Tomorrow, but I like calling it Live, Die, Repeat because that's the plot.
I don't care what
this
you like
day
calling
you
it.
live, you die, repeat the day, or end the day, right? And wow, this is like This is one of the craziest, deepest. Like, I don't even know what. Like, we've seen this in so many TV shows where they do this, and so many parodies of it. But it's like this must have been such a novelty at the time.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I mean, kudos to Harold Ramis for coming up with something like this and directing. Unfortunately, he and Bill Murray had like a falling out, but I know that they tried to make up for it before Harold Ramis passed away. So, but yeah, like you wouldn't think it. I mean, like these are the guys that starred together in Ghostbusters, and they made this film. You're thinking like it's hit comedy after hit comedy, but which is tragic because Bill Murray, I think he can rub people the wrong way, but I don't know. I think
with his humor, I can see why.
Yeah, there's something about him. I love Bill Murray though. And
love
I just
Bill
think
Murray.
He's just such a true comedian. But anyway, so rewatching it was very nostalgic. That's for sure. And like you, Jordan, I can't even pinpoint the first time I watched this movie, but very young age, and I catch more of it now. How about you, Cameron? What was it like rewatching this movie and watching it for the first time?
Well, apparently I grew up in a different household than you guys because everyone in our family says that we watched it every day growing up. But I had never seen this until I was like, I think 16 or 17. And I really wanted to watch it, and I'd been trying to get Mom to watch, but I think she was just kind of burnt out from watching it like 50 billion times with everyone else except me. And so I was like, until I finally, she's like, okay, yeah, it was like the perfect night. She's like, okay, fine, we'll watch it. And we watched it, and I absolutely loved it my first time. I instantly added it to my 10 out of 10 list. It's funny because I was kind of hesitant to watch it, and I had only heard good things about it, but I was kind of like, Bill Murray, I don't know, like a kind of older film, like looks like a
probably because the
rom-com.
only movies you saw Matt with were like Garfield, right? And just like
yeah. I really liked What About Bob, but that was just because it was a classic, and I was like, kind of worried about like being a rom-com and Bill Murray. I was like, I thought it was going to be what do you call it?
Yeah, when I think of Bill Murray, I think of romantic lead. Yep, that's right.
Boo!
No,
boo!
Just me.
Boo! That was the worst roast of all time. Anyway, and then so
no, I'm saying I don't see him as a romantic lead, Cameron. I'm totally.
I
with
know
you.
that's what he said. Roast, Ty.
What's that?
He said you were roasting him, and he said it was a bad roast.
Yeah.
Do you think of him as a handsome man? I think Bill Murray is probably one of the most ugly-looking people I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh!
That sounds really mean.
All right,
I mean, he's so
Murray.
funny. Thankfully, he has humor going for him. Do you think of him as handsome?
No, absolutely not. But
Well, okay, so why? Absolutely not.
Well, so watching it for the first time, I loved it. It was on my 10 out of 10 list, which I'm super stingy about my 10 out of 10s. And then rewatching it for the pod, it is the second time I've ever watched it, and holy cow, it holds up literally perfectly.
Yes.
There's very little to nothing wrong with this film. Like, it's just quotable, just overall great. I loved watching it a second time. Gave me hope for love life.
That's great.
If someone like Bill Murray can get a girl like that, who is a babe.
Oh my gosh, is she not? Oh, dude. She reminds me of my ex. I love her hair so fetching much. Oh my goodness.
That big hair is really doing it for you?
Yes, I love girls with big poofy hair. I miss it. They need to bring it back.
Jordan was born in the wrong decade, apparently.
I was.
All right, Grant, how about you?
Well, it's been a couple of years since I've seen the movie, so
Wow.
do it where I can.
Did we drag you on this podcast?
Ty just wanted you for your laughter, Grant. To use you.
Apparently.
That's right.
Well, are you going to explain how it was when you watched it, you freaking monkey, dude?
No, I
Holy
literally-
cow.
I don't know. That's a good movie.
Do you have thoughts? Do you know how to
Grant, you
speak?
you aren't confusing this with the Ghostbusters, right? You know Groundhog Day, the movie.
Yes,
the Groundhog.
No, I know what this is. It has Bill Murray. It's pretty funny. It's pretty quotable, even though I can't remember any
That's
quotes.
Ghostbusters? You're literally just describing Ghostbusters?
No, I'm not, dude. I know what Groundhog Day is.
It's the one with the backpacks and the laser beams. Don't cross the streams, you idiot, you moron.
Well, explain what it was like
never
watching
understood that
it.
whole-
People at my work quote that all the time. They always say that. Don't cross the streams. Don't cross the streams.
Explain what it was like watching it, Grant. Oh my gosh, dude. You freaking rookie over here.
Well, you asked him to be on at literally the last second. Like, he wasn't planning to do it. It's okay, Grant.
How
You
much
can
brain power does it take
podcast
to
and go
say
into a
what
safe
was it like
space?
watching?
Ty just
You wanna
wanted
go into a safe
Grant for his
space, Grant?
laughter, so he's getting it. All right, we can keep
I don't
going.
remember the first time I saw it. You grew up in a different household than us, apparently, Cameron, because I watched it a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
Maybe we had Cameron like outside or something. Like that.
I was just on a leash in the basement. I felt like Harry Potter in the Dursleys' house.
Chained up like Sloth in the Goonies. Food, please. Ruth, baby, Ruth. Like Cameron locked up in the basement.
And we're all laughing upstairs in the movie theater room, and Cameron's just like outside the door, like, hey, I want to watch a movie too.
Dude, that was the worst.
Get back in bed, you monster. I
Wait,
only dropped you once.
wait.
Oh, maybe twice.
Is this
Maybe
is this rated
twice.
PG-13 or PG?
This movie is rated PG.
It's an old
I believe.
PG.
It's an old PG.
It's definitely
Put
an
that
old
on a
PG.
t-shirt, folks.
Yeah, because it is an old PG. Goodness gracious. There's some scenes I was like, yeah, we shouldn't have watched this as kids.
To our parents' credit, they always, skip over, skip to the end. Even
No,
though, like, one of the
what did
plot
we used to
points is
have? It was
literally
like the clean
signing up
flicks
a
for
perfect date so I
TV
can get you to
VHS.
sleep with me.
Clear play.
Yeah, TV Guardian. It like changes the subtitles. That was so bad.
That was terrible.
Yeah, but a huge plot point of this is just so he can sleep with the girl. But I love the lesson he learns,
Yeah, what's that lesson, Jordan? It's kind of lost on me. Don't commit suicide over and over and over again. Oh my gosh.
It's that if you put on a facade and act like it's the perfect person that the girl wants you to be, then she'll fall in love with you. That's the whole message.
Well, it just reminds me of 50 First Dates a lot. It's
Oh yeah, it's super similar to 50 First Dates, like Source Code, Happy Death Day, and Palm Springs, all of those ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should keep doing this because it's such a good idea. I'm surprised they didn't do it more often back then. Like, I just feel like it's now becoming a thing they're reusing a lot of. But when it came out, like, this was the only one of its kind, right? Unless I'm not familiar with the other ones.
Yeah, I think it was the OG. I think it was the original.
As far as this plot line goes, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Like, they literally say, like, oh, he's a groundhog. Like, it's the groundhog, right? They said
Yeah.
that about Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. They're like, it's like a groundhog sci-fi film. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, the plot line where you relive the same day over and over. What a novel idea. Holy cow.
So good.
And it's so peculiar. Like, I'll be honest, out of all the holidays they chose to do, like, a Groundhog Day is, like, the most meaningless holiday to me. Is it just me, or do you guys
Yeah,
feel that
dude.
way too? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I remember being in grade school and learning about the groundhog, and they were like, a groundhog will see its shadow, and if it sees its shadow, there's 6 more weeks of winter, and if it doesn't see a shadow, there is no more. And I'm like, it's an early spring, and I was like, there's a groundhog that determines the weather? Like, I literally remember being told that in grade school. And I'm like, wow, our public education system failed me so miserably.
Well,
And then I
Ty,
remember
you
never hearing
know
about it
what
again.
doesn't surprise me is that's Central Station is in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and I served my mission in Pennsylvania, and that totally makes sense.
Grant, when you watch this movie, you're like, oh, all these people are just a bunch of hicks.
Yeah,
Oh, how about seeing the guy from the Burbs, Ty, and then, hey, drop
Oh
another
my
one of
gosh,
those plates there.
Weingarten. I always call him Mr. Weingarten. Yeah, oh my gosh. Oh my word. Showing up. Hey, you can put that tray anywhere there, buddy. Phil, like the groundhog Phil? Yeah, like the groundhog Phil. Love him, dude. If
Hey,
there was no
morons,
tomorrow,
your
there'd
bus
be
is
no
leaving.
consequences. We could do whatever we wanted. Great influence. So funny.
I love him. So many good cameos in this movie.
Unreal. So,
Like, did you notice the guy that said, we got tickets to Russell High? And he starts freaking out. That's
That's Garrett. Oh, what's his name?
Sod
Shanning
or whatever from Superman. Yeah, and he breaks his neck.
Yeah, what's his name? Zod.
Zod?
Not Zod. Gary Shanning? No, what's his name?
Yeah.
Shannon? I can't remember his name.
WrestleMania!
Yeah, and it's really creepy to see him there because he's like a super gung-ho, happy young person. And then he comes back years later as like a psychotic actor.
Wait, is that the same guy in
I
Knives
will
Out?
find him! Oh my goodness.
I don't know if
So,
What are you talking
real
about?
quick.
He's the guy. He's Zod from Superman.
Yeah, that's the
Man of
same guy in
Steel.
Knives Out.
He's in Knives Out.
Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
Knives Out. Yep.
I haven't
He's
seen
the
it.
got
brother
the
with the
cane.
cane, I think. Does he have a cane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's
Pretty threatening, pretty menacing. So it's really funny to see him in this. Yeah, because he's only in it for like a second. You're like, oh, that was one of his first cameos. That's
Yeah,
great.
he's a sweet kid.
So, real quick, I should probably give a plot synopsis because we did not give one for our last podcast. So, probably no one knows what Oscar is, and they'll still never see it because they don't know what it's about. This movie, Groundhog Day, is a weatherman finds himself inexplicably living the same day over and over again. And that's it. And he learns some lessons.
Listen,
And he
pork
goes through some
chop.
dark times. Okay, real quick, guys.
Yeah, don't mess with
Danny
me, pork chop.
Pork chop. So, mind you, Danny Rubin, the guy who wrote the script with Harold Ramis, he actually said that it was indicated that Bill Murray's character was forced to relive the same day for 10,000 years. When you think about that for a second,
What?
it makes sense when you understand all the things that he went through. I mean, let's be real here. Human beings, we only live up to like 100. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like to relive the same day over that many times. That is a tortured soul. Like, and that's why I love some of the gags in this movie are a result of many failed attempts to do something right, which is really, really funny. To think that he would spend an entire day to do one task and he would fail at it and then have to wait till tomorrow to do it all over again. And then make it one step further to only get stopped. And then, oh my gosh, great example is...
Well, no, Ty, the original idea was for him to live 10,000 years, but he said that they probably lived the same day for about 10 years.
Well, so that was interesting because there was a dispute. Both Danny Rubin was in the screenplay with Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis disagrees, so I love that there's a disagreement. But let's be real here. If we did a timeline and established Bill Murray's talent of learning the piano, I mean, what does it take to learn piano like that? I mean, a lifetime, right? So, like, let's just say, 10, 20 years to learn the piano like that, That's 20 years there. How about to rob a car bank or a bag of money out of a bank vehicle, right, from two cops, and when he does it, he hears the dog barking, he sees the car, which he probably got hit by before, who knows, right? I mean, you would assume his relationship to the car when he literally counts it as it goes by, and then knowing exactly when to take. So he pulls off a bank heist, like he does all kinds of crazy things. He tries many times to get with his co-star and the producer Andy McDowell's character Rita. And so, yeah, I believe it. I think it could be very possible to understand. And then he tries to commit suicide. He's literally going into madness, being stuck in this timeline, and he just wants it to end. So I imagine that's what anyone would go through if they've been through that. So I believe it could be 10,000. It could be more. So.
Well, I could see why you like this too, Cameron. I forgot you're like a huge time travel nut, so it's like, in a way, it's time travel. Like,
Dude,
it's got romance, it's got comedy, it's got sci-fi, time travel.
Dude, I've always
What
wished
was doing the
to have
time
something
travel?
like
Did
that.
we ever know? We never know. The Groundhog, the magic of Punxsutawneyville.
wait, what?
I'm just saying, what,
why
did we
is he
ever learn?
caught in the
What
loop?
Was
Oh.
it just
No,
Was
so
it just
that's
sleeping
okay.
with
That's
Andy McDowell's character?
No,
that
that's
broke
why
the
this
time
film
chain?
is another reason this film is far superior to the others. It doesn't spend time like trying to explain it, and that's I think what Happy Death Day made a mistake trying to explain it. Suddenly, it's like, oh, whoa, like you should have stuck
no
to just
thanks.
like this is how
The
it is.
mystery.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, stick to the mystery next time. Don't
Yeah.
go and explain it.
There's certain things you can explain, and I think they did a good job not explaining it.
So let's say two of our favorite things. Grant, why don't we start with you?
I don't know.
I started with you because I figured you haven't seen it for so long, so you might want to take whatever you can remember from this film.
I don't know.
Ty,
I
yeah,
honestly don't remember, dude.
Hey, that's fine, dude. Hey,
Just
that is
cut that
awesome.
out of the thing. It'll be fine. Just skip me.
Well, Grant had nothing interesting to say. Jordan, two of your favorite things.
That's why we cut Grant out of. As soon as Grant starts, and then it just cuts.
Well, okay, Grant, that's enough time of that. No.
Or we cut to our commercial right in between Grant. All right, now we're back.
And we're back. All right, Jordan, two of your favorite things.
Bill Murray is my favorite part of this, obviously. I think he's hilarious. Everything he says, I'm sure a ton of that was him, like, improving, just throwing down jokes, and I'm sure he's just tossing things out there just to see what'll catch and stick, because goodness gracious, if he isn't hilarious. I love him in everything he's in. He's just a very funny guy. But like you said, I can see him, some of his jabs at people, I can see like really hurting and offending people because he's just got a dark sense of humor, but really funny, just a funny, quirky guy. I love everything he says in this movie. And then I just love this concept. I never get sick of it. I watched it on all the movies they do now, and I'm like, yes, keep making movies like Groundhog Day. I don't get sick of it.
Unless it's Palm Springs, then Jordan doesn't like it.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be. So
It's because you're comparing it to the best of the genre.
yeah, well,
Which one's Palm Springs?
it's Andy Samberg. He's stuck in a time loop. It's the same. It's this movie, but
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, then he
if you
gets a
think-
girl dragged into it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, so that's fun that they have a new concept of like bringing other people into the time loop.
Yeah.
And
Two people were stuck in time together forever.
Dude, time
yeah,
also-
it's got
their
him and then the
relationship
guy
is
from
like-
Whiplash, Ty. It's got him as well. He's
Yeah.
stuck in the time
Miles
loop.
Teller?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Jonah
You got three people
Jameson.
living
J. Jonah
in a
Jameson.
time loop.
yeah. And it's funny because he comes in and tries to kill the kid because he's mad at him for helping him
Yeah.
get stuck in the time loop. So he murders him like millions of ways.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
I'll have to see that. That like sounds funny now.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm not a huge Andy Samberg guy, but that's why we're talking about Bill Murray. So,
Well, then I'll throw you on the ground, Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan
'cause I think
Jordan
Andy
doesn't
Samberg is
understand
great.
comedy.
well, his type of comedy. You know, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Love the show. He's my
Why
least
would you
favorite
show
character.
me this?
Andy Samberg
Andy
is the best
Samberg.
character in that show, and you can't change my mind about that. I wanna hear
No,
it.
Boyle, and
No.
Holt.
Boyle
Yeah,
is
I would
nothing
say
without
Raymond
Boyle.
Holt.
Boyle,
Raymond Holt is
Boyle
my
and
favorite.
Holt are
I'm
Yeah,
nothing
see?
without Jake, though.
Ty agrees with me.
Raymond Holt is. My
Anyways,
favorite
this
by
isn't
far.
about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We're talking about
Samberg is great though, Cameron.
Groundhog
And
Day.
he's one of the writers on that show, so it makes sense why it's so great and timeless. Cameron, what are your two favorite things about Groundhog Day?
Obviously there's lots of great like things about this movie, but my two favorite things, one is I don't know, I just really loved his perfect day. I kind of thought it was cool how you could see how much of a difference like he could make in one day. I thought that was kind of cool. You saw like how many different lives he impacted just like in that short, I don't know, probably like 8-hour span of just like doing all these good deeds. Like when he catches the kid and he's like, "What do you say? You never thank me." Like, and then my second favorite thing was, dude, I burst out laughing and rewatched it probably 2 or 3 times. The scene when Phil just punches Ned in the face just out of nowhere. I died laughing so hard because he literally just like Ned just walks up to him. He's like, "Phil," he's like, "Ned," and just absolutely KO punches him as hard as he can. I was laughing so hard. Oh my gosh, dude. Both of those things just absolutely made my day. But yeah, I just really like the idea of kind of like the message he was trying to convey with like that perfect day of like the difference you can make.
That's great. I love it. Yeah, I would say my two favorite things are, I think the chemistry between, I don't even want to say Rita, no offense. I think that she's fine. Like, their romance is fine, but I actually think the chemistry that he has between the other co-stars, like Ned's character, that dynamic works so well. Him and the homeless man, I felt more for that than
That was
even
amazing,
with
yeah.
Rita. That was really deep. I mean, just
Touching.
sees a homeless guy there and he spends his day with him, and whatever he can do, it's just his time, like she said. And this movie balances comedy with tragedy really, really well. There's a lot of movies that try to have deeper meaning and try to do serious moments, and they kind of fall flat. I think this is one of the few comedies that actually had me cry. When I was younger, I remember watching this, and I was just devastated by the homeless guy's plight, where no matter what Bill Murray could do for him, it just wasn't enough to save him, bring him, and you know, I don't even want to get emotional talking about it, but I almost do. It's just when he's giving him food at the diner and he's watching him eat, and he's just so grateful that he's treating him so well, because he's passed him many times before where he pretends to reach for change and he doesn't have any, and then there's scenes where he gives him all his money. Like the relationship that he has to the characters in this, I think are just amazing, and I think that speaks to this movie's credit and why it stands up, is because this movie has a lot of heart, and not a lot of comedies have heart. They just worry about the laughs, but this movie is very, very dark but very profound, and it's a very deep movie. So that's my favorite thing about it. And my second is, I don't know that this movie works with the cast that it had and the writing. I think you're right, both Harold Ramis, the screenwriter, and then Bill Murray and all of his amazing antics that he pulls out, I mean, this, you just couldn't have asked for a better movie about the most meaningless holiday of all time, which has been completely immortalized with probably one of the most iconic movies. Like, name
I
one
cannot
other
emphasize
holiday
enough
movie.
how stupid Groundhog Day is.
Yeah, I can't emphasize it enough. The holiday is like a bogus thing, and I think it's so funny because it's like when you get older, you don't care about it anymore. But I think of this movie fondly, and I think of it every time the day rolls around. I'm like, it's Groundhog Day. I'm like, I should watch that movie because the movie is more significant than the holiday itself. I want you to think about that for a second. Have you ever watched a Christmas movie and thought it was more significant than waking up on Christmas morning? Yeah, I didn't think so. You ever watch a Valentine's Day movie and think, wow, that's better than actual love? It's better than actual...
I've thought that many times.
Yeah, so that's got to be the best thing. That something has to be said about that. It's better than the holiday itself, is the movie about it. That's amazing. And maybe they intentionally chose Groundhog Day, but I think this movie probably would have stood the test of time if they called it St. Patrick's Day, if they did any other holiday. Christmas might have been the hard one to pull off, but it would have been a huge classic. And I love that they chose... And I think that's what speaks to this. It's like the most meaningless holiday, and he's reliving it over and over. It's so good.
Well,
That's
talk
my favorite
about how
second
well
part.
it's aged too. I'm shocked that it's still just as funny as it was back then. Like, because I'm not talking bad about Robin Williams. I think he's an amazing comedian, but a lot of his references are to like things going on and people in the world. And sometimes I watch it and I'm like, who is he talking about? And
Right.
I just didn't catch myself, wondering, because he doesn't make as many references. It's just
Very few pop culture references.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like timeless things. And again, that just goes to the deep profundity of this movie. It's just how deep and thoughtful they were when they wrote this, and Bill Murray's performance. So
Yeah.
love it. Any nitpicks? I would just say, I mean, a suicide montage. I don't think I've ever seen a film with that. That's like super dark. I'm just gonna say, like, I can't even say it's a nitpick because strangely it's kind of played for laughs, but like, I mean, that's just a really dark moment. And again, it's done for laughs, but it's crazy. Like, you watch it and you're like, I can't believe what I'm watching.
Okay, my one pet peeve is I don't understand why he didn't just try and wake up and leave town, because every single time he would wait until the afternoon when the blizzard would roll in, but he never tried to just wake up and drive away. Maybe he did, they just didn't show it. I don't know, but like, I don't know. I feel like you would want to try out all your options. That was literally my
I
only
assumed
gripe
because
with
the
movie.
blizzard was already started where he was getting back to, right? Because they try several times where he, like, well, I guess after the broadcast they leave, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why he didn't
Blizzard.
just wake up, get in a car, and just like, or in a taxi and just drive away, at least once.
I'm assuming he'd be plopped right back there. I have no reason to believe that if he could literally kill himself and still be there.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, I don't know. That's literally my only complaint. It's just that was like the one.
Well, for example, Cameron, we know that it wouldn't work though. Well, unless you think it's just in the town, but like he literally went to bed in a jail cell when he went to prison, and he woke up
No,
the next morning
yeah,
in
I
his
know
bed.
that.
So
that
it would literally teleport him back.
I thought the curse was revolving around the city. Like the first time I watched it, I thought it was because he needed to learn to love that city, because he like hated it and
Punish
was
it.
always talking about it, how he was never gonna come back ever. And then that was like the whole moral was him to learn that like the city was like actually special. But I don't know.
Which again, that's almost my pet peeve with this. Because again, it's hard to say because it's like I think the best moral is just what a meaningful, lived life is, and it's kind of remarkable that according to Ruben, one of the screenplay writers, was 10,000 years. What would it take for someone to even live one day meaningfully would take years and years and years of practice. And I don't know, I think that's a really precious life lesson, because I don't think that the lesson nearly, needs to be, well, I got to get with Rita, and as soon as I can get Rita to sleep with me, then I'll break the curse. I don't.
It only took him 10,000 days to try to get Rita to fall
to get her to sleep with him. Yeah.
Well, it was when she realized that he was a good person. Like, that's when she was interested in him.
And it only took him 10,000 years. Wow, Bill Murray, man. Salt of the earth, am I right? 10,000 years to learn to be a semi-decent human being. Holy cow.
But he was a pretty dang funny human being, though. Goodness gracious, if he didn't just, like, everything he said I thought was so hilarious. Like, he's not a great person, but he's funny about it, at least.
The part when
the humor is and everything. It'll get you so far, but yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, he has so many good quotes.
Yeah, but
so
that was the
many.
other thing, too. Like, he was kind of a despisable character, honestly.
Yeah. Oh,
He
yeah.
wasn't likable. At the beginning, he's really mean to his co-anchor. He's really mean to
Those sweaters, though.
Yeah, when he's like, wow, Larry, you're looking foxy tonight, man. Hey, is your troop going to be selling cookies again this year?
Oh, man. So we're going to get right into any other nitpicks that you guys had?
No, it's a great movie.
Let's get right into quotes, memorable quotes or scenes.
I like when
Sean and
he's
I
like
speak about-
making an argument with the girl, and he's like, "Yeah, and some people like blood sausage, and some people are morons."
I love it when he
I've had
honks
blood
the
sausage,
horn, and
it's
then Larry's
disgusting.
like, nobody honks this horn except me, pal. I just thought it was like really cheesy, but it was funny.
I like
That was
the
good.
scene with the psychiatrist where he goes, I more deal with like families and things like that. Why don't we meet tomorrow? He's like, well, what if there is no tomorrow? There wasn't one today. Or no, that was on the payphone. But yeah, he does say, well, how about we meet tomorrow? And he goes, is that not good? He's like, I'm reliving the same day over and over. I'm going to come back here and you're not going to know who I am.
Yeah, I always love when people
love
say,
that.
"Well, let's do it tomorrow," and he's just like, "Oh no," because you just know, like, it's never gonna happen.
I love it too when Bill Murray's at the psychiatrist or whatever, and he's talking to him, and then he's like, "Yeah, I deal with more like family and relationship problems, like alcoholics. I got an alcoholic now." Like he's like proud of like
Yeah,
the accomplishment.
he's so
that he's
proud
dealing
of it.
with the
I have an alcohol. I have someone with a real problem.
Yeah.
I couldn't
then
help but think that.
the Bill
Harold
Murray-
Ramis or, yeah.
When Bill Murray's talking to the cop or whatever, and he's like, that's just like the weather's moving in, pal. He's like, don't you listen to the weather? He's like, I make the weather. He's like,
I make the weather.
I make the weather. I love too when she's like describing her perfect man, and then she's
Oh my
like,
gosh.
she's like not afraid to cry, and then he's like, "This is a man we're talking about, right?"
right. I wrote that one down too, Joy. That's such a classic.
I love Mrs. Lancaster, the innkeeper. Every relationship he has to her. See, again, the relationships he has to people. When he goes down, he's like, "Do you ever have deja vu, Mrs. Lancaster?" She's like, "I don't think so, but I could check with the kitchen." She's like, so sweet. He's like, "No, I'll just take some coffee. Double. I'm getting out of here." And he goes, "I think there's." He'd be like 100% chance I'll be checking out, and then the next day, I'd say 80, 75% chance. Like he has no idea what's going on right the second morning, and then. Oh,
Dude,
I love it.
I love the attitude he has too when he's like guessing all the things of what is Titicaca, and then all the people are like, "Oh," and they're clapping. Ty, when he gets in that attitude, you get in that attitude sometimes, and I just love when because you have like sass and you're just like saying really quick things. He reminds me of you a lot. It cracks me up.
Wonderful.
I love the part when Bill Murray like drives off the edge in the car or whatever, and then Larry's like, he might be okay after the car
okay?
gets smushed, and then it blows up, and he's like, probably not now.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Like so obviously dead. The truck just gets smushed like flat, and he's like, he might be okay.
I know, Ty, maybe you don't love their relationship, but I think it's amazing. And I actually, a lot of my favorite quotes are from them talking to each other. I love when she's like, "You can't love anyone but yourself." And he's like, "That's not true. I don't even like myself." It's just... I love their banter.
I thought it was a really cool message right at the end when he says like, no matter what happens tomorrow or for the rest of my life, I'm happy now because I love you. I thought that was super cool.
Well, and it totally reminds me of About Time. Like, if this movie ever reminds me of something, it's that movie.
Yeah.
I like when he's talking to those two guys at the bowling alley, and after they go into the car with him, he's like, yeah, we don't have to live by anyone's rules. And he has like a list of all these weird things about, clean up your room, stand up straight, pick up your feet, take it like a man, be nice to your sister, don't mix beer and wine ever. Oh yeah, and don't drive on the railroad tracks. Well, Phil, that's a rule I happen to agree with. Like, Wine is great. And then when they drive at the train on the railroad tracks, he's like, I bet he's gonna swerve first. I love that line. Playing chicken with a train. That is so great. And then to the policeman, too early for flapjacks, please. I love that. I don't know why. That I'll never forget those sound bites that I heard. I mean, they're timeless and they're so well done.
Does it have to involve the word poopy?
I love too when he goes to learn piano lessons, right? She's like, Mr. Connor, this is your first lesson. He's just like,
I'll pay you
father was a
$1,000.
piano mover.
I love it too. He's like, I'll pay you $1,000, and then the daughter, or the little girl that's getting like the piano lesson, just gets like thrown out, and she's just like all sad. Oh man, it's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I just love concepts like that, because it's like, yeah, what could you learn if you had like essentially lifetimes you could live? Like, learn to play the piano, learn to speak millions of languages, like he spoke French. I just, well, he used it probably for the wrong reasons to get with the girl, but I mean, it's awesome. I just love that concept.
Kind of has an element of limitless kind of thing, where you have access to 100% of your brain. If you could live 1,000 lifetimes over, you could like learn to do a bunch of things that could seem really meaningful, right? A life well lived. So yeah, I love that he is so miserable, and the fact that he keeps living these days over. Thankfully, the whatever he had to learn in order to give himself freely of this gift to help everybody else, it's good that it didn't end on a day that, I don't know, he went to prison or that he killed himself. This curse, just, I assume the curse only worked insofar that he lived a meaningful day, but that's the one thing where, like you said, they don't explain it, but the idea that he did everything selflessly and kind of sacrificed himself in a way, it's kind of like a allegory for, giving up yourself, like the savior of the world, right? In a way, that's the kind of religious analogy that I could get from it. But who knows? Maybe it's a more secular film. But I don't know. I don't think you could see it any other way. He gives it everything, right? This gift, he's been selfishly using it all this time.
Well, I mean, he even calls himself a god at one point. So
yeah, I really do think that there is a lot of religious undertones there. And he's immortal essentially, reliving the day over and over. And
I just love when he calls himself a god, and she's like, you are not a god.
Not the god, a god, maybe. I don't know. I love that too. Before he gets in the car after the bowling alley, you want to throw up here or do you want to throw up in the car? I think both. Gross. I love that. There's so many great scenes. Yeah, I love. Yeah, just his change. There's so many, like I said, what's really great about this too, I'm sure there's like a meta moment, but when you watch like blooper reels and stuff of actors, they like sit in a scene and they have to do it like 8-10 times over, and sometimes they'll be a little sillier and sometimes not, and they'll laugh, sometimes break character. And I'm like, this movie, like all the scenes they have intermittent throughout, like where every time he meets Mrs. Lancaster at the inn, every time he has the scene with the chubby guy at the top of the stairs, he has like 4 or 5 takes with them, but all of them were used because they end up being part of the plot, where different days that he's gone through the same day over and over, it means something else entirely. And that's amazing because from a filmmaking standpoint, it would actually be a very easy movie to shoot. You would just have to storyboard it, and then you could just take 5 different scenes of the one interaction and be like, this is the first day, so you're totally fine with it. This is the second day, you're a little skeptical. Third day, you're paranoid. Fourth day, do the, like it could be, and he would just do the same scene over and over, and he would be in the same clothes. It would be like calling cut and action again. And so it's kind of like a meta movie in that way, because it would actually be, technically speaking, a very easy movie to make in that regard, because you're literally taking takes, and it's like, now, like, and you could do several takes of the same scene, but it's like, this scene is going to be like 4 or 5 times, and it's going to be funnier every time you see it. Like, again, I have to see the Groundhog. Listen here, pork chop. He like threatens the guy. Like, first time is like, yeah, okay, get out of my way, and then he threatens the guy next time. It's really funny.
Well, and I love looking for those differences throughout the day when he makes a difference. I love to see their reactions to how because if he changes himself, it's like, oh, how are they going to react to that new thing? Because, you know, now it's like same circumstance, but different. I love stuff like that because their reactions to him also very priceless.
I love when he gives Ned a hug. You
Yes.
said punching was funny, Cameron. I love when he gives him a hug and he creeps
Hug was
him
the
out.
best.
He's like, I
Punching
gotta
was
go.
way better, dude. I was laughing so hard.
No, the punch is
that
great,
hug is
but it's
hilarious.
I just love when he
Phil?
holds him and he's like,
Ned?
oh, bang. That step is a doozy. That guy has been immortalized as Ned Ryerson. Like, I would honestly call him Ned Ryerson in other films.
Oh, yeah.
His name is too hard to... Like, how sad is that? He became a character. He's like... He reminds me of the Sicilian from... What's his name? Sicilian from Princess Bride. He was such a character that he was so iconic, it's hard to see him as anything else. Like,
Yeah.
such a funny character. Like, you could not have scripted that line for anybody else. Like, there's just no one else that could have done that. Phil? I thought that was you. Oh, Ned, you're so great. Like, iconic character for life, for sure.
I'm sure he got
any
that
other
for the
quotes?
rest of his life.
Oh, yeah. People run into him all the time. I thought that was you. Oh, my gosh. Any other quotes?
No.
I love
Just a quick detail that I thought was really cool is if you notice in the diner, all the clocks are stopped. Like, they're not going forward to show, like, the predicament and the situation that Phil's in, which I thought was, like, super cool kind of attention to detail.
Is that right? The clocks were stopped? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, to kind of show that, like, time's not moving forward for him, it's just staying the same.
It's a clever meta thing. I never caught that before.
Oh, look at you,
like
little
that.
cheat.
Yeah, look at you, looking at the deeper meaning, things behind the
He
curtain.
he just watches movies like 2 inches from the screen. That's all he does now.
Yeah, Cameron, it's not even all that impressive, man.
Anything to
Grant,
negate
that's why
anything I do good.
Grant, that's why we had you on the pod, man. Check Cameron in place.
Yeah. But one thing I
So
do
what are
like.
you doing for dinner? Something else.
Well, so one thing I did like a lot. Well, I think it's cool how the movie really taps into, like, I feel like everyone's.
Now he remembers. Making fun of Cameron jogged his memory.
Well, I just think it's cool because it taps into everyone's, I think, wish or desire to, like, just do things and not have any consequences, right? I think, like, we all, like, think we want that, but I think it's cool how it shows that, like, he eventually gets to the point where, like, even death doesn't have a consequence, and so it's like, you know, it's kind of torturous for him, and so there's a reason why, like, we only live as long as we do, and then, like, this life is over, you know? And so it's just really cool, like, kind of a lesson that it teaches that, like, there's a reason why we have consequences to our actions. And so we're supposed to make the best of the one life we do have.
Well, because they say that if we did, most people would just live exactly the same. So that's why I think he started to go insane.
Yeah.
I wrote down in my quote the toasting drink scene. I just remembered what, and this is going back to nitpicks, but maybe you can put it in quotes. It's just like when he's like orders the drink and he orders something different. She orders it and he like makes a note of what she ordered. The next day he comes in, orders the same drink. That's my favorite drink. Mine too. And then he's like, what do we drink to? And he's like, the Groundhog. And she's like, I always drink to world peace. And it's like the most awkward thing where it's like, why was that a big deal? Like,
Yeah,
like,
that was
I'm starting to drink
hilarious.
to world peace. Like, relax. Give me a freaking break, Rita. Like, I don't know.
That's funny you said that. I caught that this time too. I'm like, oh, geez, woman. Like, why are you upset about that?
Yeah, she's like, oh, I always drink to world peace.
Like,
you're
I'm not
a dick
gonna
for
toast you.
wishing to world peace. Like,
After he
Like, how
just
does he
bought
supposed
her
to know
drink.
that?
Can we also acknowledge the
yes.
fact that Larry, no one wanted to even pay $1.50. He got sold for 2 bits. Like, what the fuck? I love when Larry gets up to the front and he does a little twirl. Dude, I was dying laughing. He does his little twirl. I'm
Dude, Cameron, have you ever watched Creek?
No.
Oh, watch Creek. He's the
funny.
mayor of the town. He's rolling. So funny. He's great in that show. You need to watch that show.
How
It
about
is
that
such a
billboard? Oh, jeez.
Oh my word! Don't even get me started. Watch that show, Cameron. I think it's on Prime. Watch the first season.
I own it.
So funny. Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, and his son. Oh my gosh. Anyway, one thing about that too is I love every time that he was on the film. He says like, what does he say about Phil after he like freaks out and leaves, and he goes, prima donnas. Like he keeps insulting Phil like after he leaves. I love that.
And he says it like twice too. It was really funny.
Yeah, prima donnas. I love it. I love it.
Did he just
You're
call
missing all the
himself
fun.
the
These people are
talent?
great. You know, some of them have been partying all night long, and they get too cold. They go and sit by the fire and get warm, and they come back and sing some more. They're Hicks, Rita. Just insulting the people when he goes out and he says the squirrel, and he's like so mean to the rodent, and when he finally kills it, I love it. Don't
Yeah,
get
when
angry.
he's driving with it, and he's like, you gotta use your peripherals, just glance in your mirrors.
Teaching a freaking groundhog how to drive.
I love it. Any other things you guys wanted to say about this film?
No, it's an amazing,
Awesome.
amazing movie.
Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We're going to now go around, share movies that we've seen lately and movies that we're looking forward
Well, and
to
do we
seeing.
recommend the movie? Yes, 100%.
Heck yeah.
Oh, do we recommend this movie? Hard yes.
Okay.
It's going to be a yes for me.
Hey, Grant, do you want to tell us what you were watching lately and that you just finished?
Then I want to kill myself.
What?
Dude, I'm so mad. So I binge watched Game of Thrones, and I was loving life, and then I watched the last season, and I was like, I want to kill myself. It is honestly
Grant
the
had the
biggest
greatest quote
letdown
ever.
I have ever witnessed in my entire life, dude.
Grant had the
Yep.
greatest quote
It
after
is
we finished
so-
watching. He said, I feel like I just wasted my life watching that show.
Yes. Dude, I'm not recommending this show to anyone because the last season is so bad.
Dude,
Right on.
No,
That-
See, I
it
told
kills
you.
me.
I don't have to watch it now.
It's
Yeah,
the
don't
best
watch it,
TV
Ty.
show of all time. You're Grant. And Grant even admitted that.
No, it is. But I will
they
never
ruined it
recommend
and with
anyone.
one episode. All it was with one episode. They ruined all character development for every character in
Yeah,
one
well,
episode.
no,
Like,
no,
every
it's
single
the,
character.
It's the final two episodes. It's the final two
Yeah.
episodes.
So
if you watch the
dumb.
series, just don't watch the last two episodes, and you'll be totally happy.
Just literally all the character development. It just literally every single character
Thrown out
did a
the window.
180. Every character.
so
it was
dumb,
like
dude.
a woman that saved all these people decides to all of a sudden kill millions of babies and innocent people. No, not gonna happen. And then a guy that literally redeems himself, switches at the last minute, goes back to the queen. Not gonna happen.
And then
I'm
another
sorry.
guy who's like the most loyal human being ever and is in love with a person is going to kill that person. Yeah, I don't think
No.
so.
Yeah, just everything. It wasn't earned. So
And then one of the smartest characters in the entire show is going to hide in a crypt, like fighting a guy who raises the dead.
Awesome. Well, Grant, I'm so sorry that you wasted all that time watching a worthless show.
Yeah. Yeah.
do you have any other thoughts, Grant? Because I've got an amazing list. I just want to go through really quick.
It's been a while since I've been on the podcast, so we watched a ton of movies when we were together over the break. Watched The Founder, watched Cobra Kai season 3. That was really good. It was a rough start, but it became really good.
Yeah, those first couple episodes, man, I even was like having a hard time getting through it.
Yeah, I know.
But then it got amazing
watched-
by the end.
Which show?
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai season 3.
Really? You guys didn't like it?
Not the
beginning of
no.
the
We were just
season
saying the
is
first couple
rough.
episodes.
Did you listen at all, monkey?
Well, no, I heard him say Cobra Kai, but then I was like, I thought he already seen it. I didn't know he was talking about season 3, because I saw that like weeks ago, I feel like. So
Ty's like, get up
Well,
with
yeah,
the times.
I haven't been on in a
Weeks
while, that's
ago.
what I'm
I can't.
saying.
That's forever ago.
Ty's like, I can't even
Well, yeah,
remember.
Grant, give us your whole year of movies that you've seen, Grant.
It's literally January, so chill.
Okay, wait. Grant, are you done with your list, or are you still looking?
I watched I,
Jordan.
Tonya and
Holy
Demolition
cow.
with Cameron.
What'd you think?
Those are some weird movies, dude. No sense whatsoever.
Demolition is amazing. It's like
A little more art house than you bargained for, huh?
it's like Enemy, like part 2. It's like the sequel to Enemy.
Oh yeah, honestly.
Okay, do I get to do my list now?
Yes,
It
go.
reminds me
Holy
of,
cow,
you guys sound like me and
friggin'
Jordan when we
4-year-old
watched
child.
Birdman. After we watched Birdman, we look at each other and we're like, what the fudge did we just watch?
Yeah, that was
Quoting you,
weird.
Cameron, of course.
Is that Michael Caine
Keaton.
or Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Michael Caine. not quite.
Michael Caine.
Okay, so I've watched The Lobster with my roommate. Really good. We're gonna do it on the pod, so I won't go into it. Palm Springs, it was all right.
Lobster.
Do not
as
all right
good.
me. For everyone listening, Jordan doesn't know what he's talking about.
It was all right.
It's a great B film.
Maybe C plus.
Palm Springs.
No, it's way better than all the other B's Jordan recommends. Jordan's taste is
Which
terrible.
sea film? Which sea film?
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
Oh, Palm Springs.
Okay,
yeah.
and then I watched a movie called Psycho Gorman. There's only 2 really funny scenes. It reminds me of Wishmaster, which I sound like such a geek watching these movies. But anyways, which I also watched actually, right after I watched that, because I'm like, I need to watch Wishmaster, which I watched 1 and 2. Really funny movies. So
Yeah, you'll think those are funny movies, and then Jordan watches Palm Springs, and he's
so
like,
Psycho
I didn't laugh
Gorman-
at all.
So Psycho Gorman it's a Shudder original, and there's a scene where this creature from space comes down, and he puts this man in a time loop, and he traps his soul for all eternity in this body, and so you see his eyes like spinning, and this young kid accidentally bumps him and knocks him over, and it shatters him, and then his mouth before he disappears, he's like, "Thank you." It's really funny. it's very disturbing movie, but it's
that's
funny.
funny, but Palm Spring isn't. Dude, I'm never gonna let you live that down.
I know. You don't have to. Okay, and then I saw a trailer for Wrong Turn, so I got excited and I went back and watched I watched the first Wrong Turn, which is amazing, and then I watched the 6th one because I actually don't own the other ones. Not good. The first one was the only good one. And then...
They made 6 of them, and one of them was good. Oh, got it. So they greenlit 6 films based on one.
But they're doing a new one. It looks all right. I don't know. We'll see. And then Ty... I don't know why you weren't emphasizing enough Wind River, because that was the most amazing movie, and I don't know why the crap you didn't put it on this podcast to talk about. Like, why isn't it on top of your list?
You're coming after me with heat. I sometimes overhype a film. You guys will crucify me if I recommend a film that's, I don't know, semi-good or pretty good, but not your favorite movie of all time. Jeez. And so I'm like, Wind River's great. You guys should watch
I can't believe you didn't want to talk about it on the podcast. Like, these are the types of movies I want to talk about. Like,
what do you mean I don't want to talk? Let's talk about it. We're on the podcast.
No,
we're talking Wind River. Okay.
No, I mean like full episode. We have to do a full episode.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Until you guys agreed to watch it, would I have made you guys sit down and watch it? My goodness.
Make us watch it. Okay. And then
yes, this is good. Make me watch.
Make me watch it. Seriously.
Take my eyeballs open. Conspiracy theory style.
Tape those eyelids.
Freaking Stanley Kubrick and
Clockwork Orange. Okay, Ty. And I just found a new director that I absolutely love. If I can remember his name.
Jim Cummings.
No, so this guy, his name
Love
is
Jim Cummings.
David Michaud, or however you say his name. Michaud. Anyways, it's got like one of those little accents above the O. Anyways, so he directed, I watched all 4 of his movies today. All 4. So I watched Rover, Animal Kingdom, War Machine, and The King. Oh my gosh. Dude, these movies are amazing. Like, and guess who's, well, I mean, there's so many good actors in them. Cameron, War Machine's got your boy Brad Pitt, which you guys should watch. Really good. The King is my favorite out of all 4 of them. So if you want to watch this best one, well, I'm gonna do it on the pod. It's amazing. The King's a
You
masterpiece.
say the best. I like Wolf of Snow Hollow better than I like Thunder Road. So is it just because you like it the best because it relates most personally to you, or do you like it because it's the best?
No, Ty, look at the ratings. Actually, Thunder Road has higher ratings than...
I know it does, Jordan. I still found Wolf of Snow Hollow much more entertaining. How many times do you have to beat through this? Oh, because this one has a higher critic score. I know, because it's got deeper, more depressing themes. I enjoyed Wolf of Snow Hollow more. What more can I say?
Anyways, all of these movies have a theme of like violence and how just what it does to people and their psyche, and oh my gosh, I don't know. It's amazing. Like, it's just... it's so good. I can't even... And
It's so funny to hear you say that. Like, it delved into my psyche.
I know, because I love violence in movies, but he just critiques the crap out of it. Like, oh, you like violence? Well, I mean, you shouldn't. I don't know. It's just so good. It's...
You like this? Well, you shouldn't.
I know
That was
that's
just a
like
funny way to
that's
say
like
that.
the whole cuties thing. Like, you think child pornography is a problem? We got plenty of it in this movie.
Or
It's a problem, isn't it?
Starship
Look at
Troopers,
the
Ty.
problem.
Starship Troopers, like, oh, you like violence? Well, I'm critiquing it, but I'm going to give you a lot of it. Anyways, And then 2 movies I'm excited about is Godzilla vs. Kong. Not sure about that trailer, but I do like some cool visuals. And then,
I refuse to watch the trailer, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's Adam Wingard, and I've seen all his movies, and I am 100% in because I love him. And
I'm just thinking of falling from the Ferris wheel from freaking Death Note.
oh, dude, we had to do Death Note. At least a mini episode. I love it. And then Zack Snyder
Not
is
the
making
Netflix
a new...
one, the TV show.
Both of them. And then Zack Snyder's doing a new zombie movie that I absolutely am excited about because his first one, Dawn of the Dead, is a masterpiece. So we'll see.
Awesome.
Maybe he'll give us another amazing moment. Martha!
Why'd you say
Sorry,
that?
I had a lot
That is
to talk
profound.
about. Sorry, guys.
Why did you say that name, Jordan? Cameron, movies you've seen, movies that you're looking forward to seeing.
I just been watching a lot of Game of Thrones with Grant, and then I also watched. My roommates were doing rewatching all of the old Star Wars. I was only there for A New Hope and then also Return of the Jedi. Both really great films. New Hope doesn't hold up as good as I remember, but Return of the Jedi is still awesome. I freaking love the Ewoks.
A New Hope doesn't hold up to as good as you remember?
Yes.
What?
Dude, a blind man could have had a better fight scene than Vader at that scene.
Well, no, but it's not about the action. You're right. It's cheesy, but the emotional weight that's at stake.
That's why I said it
there,
doesn't hold up as well. Holy crap, get off my back. And then
Well, he's just talking about that fight scene. The rest of it's really good. It's a masterpiece.
Well, you said the
an
movie didn't hold
overstatement.
up. That's what I heard. Yeah.
No, it's a masterpiece.
It's not a masterpiece, that's for sure.
Would I rather
It is-
see A New Hope or would I rather see A Force Awakens? Yeah, I'm watching A New Hope.
Not gonna lie though, The Force Awakens.
like The Force Awakens
is a
better than New
marvelous
Hope.
film.
I think it's the
No.
best. I think it's like what's called probably like third or fourth best of the Star Wars series.
I would put it up in the top. I think 3 or 4 for me, Cameron. I agree.
Yeah.
Then again, I haven't seen the prequels in a long time. Maybe I should watch those, and I could find some merriment out of those bags of garbage,
And then some movies I'm
steaming
looking
piles of cow dung.
some movies. Oh my gosh. Some movies I'm looking forward to. I just went through all of Jake Gyllenhaal's movies and pretty much just added like every one to my list. Which I'm eventually gonna watch those. And then there was also
I'll be stalking him later.
and then there was a couple of specific ones that I thought looked kind of interesting to me. The King's Speech. I've heard just really good things from that. And then also Jake, our cousin, mentioned a TV series or a mini series called Bodyguard. It's starring Rob Stark from Game of Thrones, and Jake loves it, so I'm gonna check it out.
Grant's like, I still like him from Game of Thrones.
Only the best character in Game of Thrones. Are you kidding me?
Dude, every best character dies or just falls flat in the last
spoiler,
season.
Grant. Oh,
Literally everyone knows that, dude.
literally everyone knows that. Yeah, don't think I'll ever be watching it.
Don't.
So I watched more of Tim Cummings' films. I loved Wolf of Snow Hollow, and I was like, I have to watch more things by this guy. So he did another film, Thunder Road, which is actually, there's a lot of through lines from
You want
Wolf
to tell
of Snow Creek.
Cameron that we're doing it next week on the podcast? Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were going to be doing
Double feature.
Starship Troopers, though, is one of them.
What?
I texted Starship Troopers. to
Okay,
the
well,
group
obviously
message.
we'll have to discuss this after the podcast because this is a whole nother discussion.
You just have to edit this out. Yeah, no, it's fine. We can discuss anything. I don't really care.
Well, you already
Well-
talked about those 2 movies last week on the pod, so you don't have to re-talk about it.
Did I talk about Thunder Road?
Yes,
though?
you talked about them both. Oh, well, we're going to do an episode for them, so...
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I will not talk about it then. Jeez, so sensitive. I watched 6 minutes of the Disney remake Mulan. I could only watch 6 minutes of it, if you can call it that. I called it a film. If you can call it that, it's more like a propaganda for communism. Jeez, Mulan was so unlikable. Her character could have been portrayed by a Chinese flag.
Oh my gosh.
Her character could have been portrayed by a flagpole representing
gosh.
the communist China.
Dude, when I heard
It was,
when I heard they didn't have the
very
dragon,
distasteful.
I knew it was gonna be a dumpster fire when I heard they didn't have the dragon.
You're like, oh, it doesn't have the
Mushu.
funny Mushu.
I mean, it
Eddie
doesn't have
Eddie
Mushu,
Murphy.
and then it doesn't have singing. Oh, that dumpster fire. Dumpster fire.
Or love interest, or any charm, or life.
Ty, you didn't know women
general.
don't need men.
I made a joke. I was like, a human being we're fighting for. You know, I thought that was really funny. But, like, to go fully woke, but instead it was like, no, this is about honoring your country. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, maybe if it's America, America, fight for your country. But if
American
it's for communist
Mulan.
China, no thanks. No thanks. We're probably going to get banned in China. Sorry, guys,
American
we can't
Mulan is-
monetize this podcast there. But I'm not LeBron James. I'm not a sellout or a propagandist machine for China. So I'm going to be totally political and say, F China, man. Jeez. And I'm not being xenophobic. I love Chinese people.
Just the country we hate.
Yeah. I just hate everything they stand for. And by they, I mean communism. I watched...
By they, I mean
think
the
it's
people
funny
with
to make
squinty
fun of
eyes.
Asians. Why not? Oh, I dated an Asian, so it's okay. I can make fun of them. That's what she told me anyway.
That gives you the license, Ty, right?
That's right. Yep. I should date other people.
I got the yellow
Then I can make fun of everyone.
Oh, I've heard
I
people
watched a
actually make
great
those
period
arguments.
Piece show. I watched a great period piece show. It's called Poldark. It's on Amazon Prime. I'm a sucker for these old-timey shows. I watched Downton Abbey and I ate this up. If you like Downton Abbey, you may not like this. This is like a grislier,
Oh my gosh,
more,
Jordan, your hair is getting
Mom
gritty
watches
portrayal.
it.
Oh yeah, but it's definitely grislier than Pitt Downton. Downton's like super cute and dainty. This one's like, yeah, everyone's got dirt under their fingernails. Everyone looks miserable, and everyone's dying of like diseases and stuff. It's crazy. So yeah, watched Poldark, and then and then I watched Oscar, and that's it. So you guys already know about those, and I can't talk about Thunder Road or Snow Hollow, Wolf of Snow Hollow. So cardinal sin there. So anyway,
Just tell us your short thoughts.
that's what I've been watching.
No, just end it. We'll talk about it later.
Everybody,
Leave
thanks
us a
for writing.
5-star review.
Yeah. Go for it. Sorry, the one and only host of the
No.
podcast, Cameron. Me, you
It's all
indigente.
you, Ty.
Thank you. Everybody, leave us a 5-star review. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe the podcast. And write us emails of movies that you'd like us to review or
Check us out on
to
Spotify.
ban us from the podcast. If you have hatred for us, write in.
We're dishing out so many movies, they're probably like, they can't even keep up with us, Ty.
I can't
Yeah,
even keep
wow.
up with us, man.
Yeah, Cameron doesn't even listen to the pod.
That's because I had COVID and I just had so much time to edit.
I love COVID. All right, so let us end this podcast.
We need to go into a
Everybody, thanks for
pandemic
tuning
more
in.
often.
Write in your emails, futromovies@gmail.com. Leave us a review and stay safe until next week. Futuro Hidden Movie Gym signing out. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Oh, wait. Are we doing this again?